the league versus Caitlin Clark. And that is just absolutely false. It is unfair to the women that have been there building this league to this moment so that Caitlin Clark's popularity could take it to the next level.
Even 3 years ago, you would not talk about the W at this level. Don't do that.
Guys. Nobody was, Monica. You making Stephen A. point, Monica. Monica, you making Stephen A. point.
Monica McNutt just made herself look silly live on air speaking about Caitlin Clark. She said we need to acknowledge the other players in the league rather than giving Caitlin all the credit for breaking attendance records. Monica said there has been way better players before Caitlin, who hadn't got nearly as much credit or viewership.
The response of folks that don't think she is praised enough and she is above reproach in terms of criticism, or that praising another player is an affront to her is like, whoa, bro. Also, you're not mentioned talking about women's basketball. I've never ever seen you before in my life.
It's obvious the agenda the media has on Caitlin Clark, yet she still doesn't respond to the critics. Instead, she plays her basketball and breaks records like they are going out of fashion. Caitlin continues to make these analysts look silly, knocking them down one by one, whilst us fans are watching them get proved wrong time and time again.
Stephen A., respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
All right, we gotta go.
Stephen A., I'm talking to you. Wow. Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Really appreciate
my girl, but you've missed a lot of episodes of First Take.
Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise in the WNBA has been nothing short of spectacular. But as is often the case with stardom, not everyone's been eager to hand her the crown. While her talent and record-breaking performances have made headlines, her journey to being recognized as one of the league's brightest stars has been filled with heated debates and plenty of controversy. ESPN's panels have become battlegrounds, with analysts like Monica McNutt and Molly Karam offering differing opinions on Clark's impact. McNutt, at one point, leaned toward other rookies for top honors, while Karam seemed hesitant to fully embrace Clark's success, sparking further discussion.
My Rookie of the Year is going to go based on the standings.
Okay.
Because I think that is how you have the opportunity to measure impact.
And the sky's right above them.
And the Sky right now are in the playoffs, so you'd have to give the nod in my mind to Angel Reese.
Monica McNutt, who had initially thrown her support behind Angel Reese for Rookie of the Year, was one of the loudest voices during the early part of the season. McNutt's reasoning was pretty clear at the time. She felt that Angel Reese's performance, especially with the Chicago Sky being in a better position than the Indiana Fever in the standings, made her the standout rookie. McNutt wasn't shy about voicing her belief that Reese had all the tools to win the Rookie of the Year award, and that Caitlin Clark, while talented, wasn't quite on that level yet.
She is literally cashed in, but her attention, her notoriety is based off Caitlin Clark. She wins the national title, first thing she does, she mocks Caitlin Clark. And then she doesn't even celebrate with her teammates. So she's made it personal with Caitlin Clark. Then she's played off of that. Even Caitlin Clark getting knocked down in that game on Saturday, who's standing up applauding but Angel Reese?
For McNutt, it seemed like a reasonable take at the time. Angel Reese had been playing well in ways that rookies rarely do, and her ability to impact both ends of the floor for the Chicago Sky gave her an edge over other first-year players. In comparison, the Indiana Fever were struggling, and while Clark had put up strong individual performances, her team's standing wasn't doing her any favors in the eyes of analysts like McNutt.
Caitlin is fantastic, and I think she's going to have an incredible career in the WNBA. There are women that were worthy of coverage prior to her arriving, and I just will not be silenced when it comes to that.
During an ESPN broadcast, McNutt had to change her mind about Caitlin, but in doing so, still remained to throw digs and not give her the utmost of respect. She acknowledged that Clark had proven herself to be one of the best players of the season, not just among rookies, but in the entire league. It wasn't just about the numbers, though they were impressive. It was the way Clark was leading the Indiana Fever, a team that had been struggling to find its footing, and how she was capturing the attention of fans across the league. McNutt admitted that while she had been all in on Angel Reese earlier in the year, Caitlin Clark had forced her to change her mind.
The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
While McNutt might have come around to Clark's brilliance, not everyone at ESPN was as willing to celebrate her success. Molly Karam, one of the most prominent voices on the network, seemed to take every opportunity to downplay Clark's achievements. Whether it was intentional or not, Karim often steered conversations away from Clark, even when the young star's record-breaking performances were the hot topic. Fans were quick to notice that whenever Clark's name came up, Karim was hesitant to give her the recognition many felt she deserved.
There were a lot of people that laid the groundwork that deserve shine as well. Here's what we're going to do.
Are they playing now?
Here's
Are they playing now?
We don't have Andrea.
Remember, you got
we don't have any of the women, Chanae. They'll come back on. We'll revisit this conversation gladly.
One of the most notable moments came after Caitlin Clark broke Alyssa Thomas's assist record, a milestone that should have cemented her as one of the league's brightest stars. Instead of focusing on Clark's incredible feat, Karim quickly shifted the conversation to other players, trying to spotlight their contributions to the league. It almost seemed as if she was deliberately avoiding giving Clark too much attention, an approach that didn't go unnoticed by viewers or other analysts. Some even speculated that Karim's reluctance to fully embrace Clark's stardom was part of a larger effort to keep the spotlight evenly spread across the league's top players, but it felt forced and disingenuous to many.
She's going to be dogged by better defenders one-on-one. And of course, on the defensive end, she's got to go and play defense. So I'm not sure what the scheme will be to protect her because nobody has talked about her as a defender. And there's reason why.
Karim's stance became even clearer when Clark set a new record for points in a season, another historic achievement that should have made headlines. Yet, rather than acknowledging Clark's groundbreaking run, Karim argued that Clark's star power was less about her performance on the court and more about her popularity with fans. According to Karim, Clark's appeal wasn't rooted in her undeniable talent, but in her ability to bring viewership to the WNBA. She suggested that Clark was only perceived as a star because she was a fan favorite, a claim that felt like an unfair dismissal of Clark's actual basketball prowess. For many, this take was problematic, as it ignored the fact that Clark's talent and hard work were what drew those fans in to begin with. Karim's reluctance to fully celebrate Clark's success left a sour taste for those who felt the young player had more than earned her moment in the spotlight.
That's exactly what I'm saying, because I think it makes a mockery of the women's game. If the focus on, now we just have to have people because of marketing and their attention, and they're not as talented, we're not putting the best team out there.
Stephen A. Smith, never one to shy away from a bold opinion, also weighed in on the Caitlin Clark discussion. But unlike Molly Karim, Smith took a different approach. Known for his fiery takes, Smith had been watching the budding rivalry between Clark and Angel Reese unfold throughout the season, and he was quick to point out that Reese seemed to be fueling the flames more than Clark ever did. For him, this wasn't a natural rivalry, but one that was being constructed largely by Reese and others in her camp. Smith noted that while the media and fans were eager to pit the two young stars against each other, Clark had remained focused on her game, letting her performance speak for itself. Clark wasn't engaging in the rivalry rhetoric or trying to feed into the drama, despite the media attention.
Remember when you were waving your hand in Caitlin Clark's face when you were beating her for the national championship? Everybody remembered then that you belonged in the WNBA and your future was going to be on the pro level, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Who are these doubters?
On the other hand, Smith pointed out that Reese seemed to be leaning into the narrative, especially after her injury sidelined her for the season. Smith speculated that Reese, in an effort to remain relevant in the conversation despite not being able to contribute on the court, was playing up the supposed rivalry with Clark. Instead of letting Clark's individual achievements shine, Reese appeared to be trying to create a competitive tension that wasn't as fierce as it was being portrayed. For Smith, it was clear that Reese was using the rivalry as a tool to stay in the spotlight while Clark was letting her game do all the talking. But as the season unfolded, fate intervened. Cracks began to show in Reese's game, whilst Caitlin seemed to be just getting better and better, game by game. Angel Reese also suffered a wrist injury that cut her season short, sidelining her for the remainder of the year. Whilst fans thought she could be faking it,
did I fake an injury? Let's be real. I literally played with my ankle like a golf ball, like a little golf ball. when we played against Iowa. And like pain, you know, I've heard when like I can't play. Like they don't have to tell me like you shut down, like you can't play. That's what they was telling me yesterday. Like you shut down, like you can't play.
Smith also addressed the ongoing criticism that Caitlin Clark was only popular because of her large fan base, a notion that had been pushed by analysts like Molly Karam. He rejected this entirely, arguing that Clark's talent was undeniable and that anyone trying to downplay her skills was simply missing the point. In his eyes, Clark wasn't just a player who happened to have a lot of fans. She was the real deal. Her game, her record-breaking performances, and her ability to impact the league on a nightly basis were what made her a star. Smith made it clear that Clark deserved to be recognized for her on-court achievements, not just her off-court appeal.
My WNBA Player of the Week. Surprise, surprise. Indiana Fever rookie sensation, Caitlin Clark. There's nothing really to say other than that. She's winning Rookie of the Year. She's a top candidate for League MVP honors. She ain't beating Angel Wilson for the MVP, but she's beating Angel Reese for Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's over. And props to Angel Reese, who's had a good year, by the way.
Another prominent figure who had doubts about Caitlin Clark's ability to thrive in the WNBA was none other than Geno Auriemma. Before Clark even set foot on a WNBA court, Auriemma questioned whether she could handle the physicality and speed of the league. In his view, the WNBA's more aggressive, fast-paced style might be too much for Clark to handle. He even suggested that she might not be on the right team to fully showcase her skills, implying that the Indiana Fever wasn't the best fit for her talent.
Third or fourth in betting odds on being MVP at the WNBA. These people are so disrespectful and so unknowledgeable and so stupid that it gives women's basketball a bad name.
But as the season unfolded, Auriemma's assessment quickly began to look outdated. Caitlin Clark didn't just survive the physicality of the WNBA, she thrived in it. From the very start, she showed that she could not only hold her own, but dominate in a league filled with some of the world's best athletes. Game after game, Clark proved herself by breaking records that had stood for years. She shattered records for assists and points in a season, leaving analysts, fans, and even her critics stunned. Clark's ability to take over games, make clutch plays, and elevate her teammates' performances became a hallmark of her rookie campaign. Auriemma, who had once been skeptical of Clark's ability to handle the rigors of the WNBA, was left eating his words. Clark's success wasn't just about the raw stats, though those were certainly impressive. What set her apart was her ability to make those around her better. Her leadership on the court was undeniable, and it was a big reason why the Indiana Fever, a team that had struggled in previous seasons, began to improve as the year went on. By the end of the season, even Auriemma had to admit that Clark had proven him wrong in a big way. She wasn't just surviving in the WNBA, she was excelling, and she was doing it on her terms.
The Caitlin Clark effect is definitely real. I mean, we can all see that. However, experiencing it in person is totally different. I was at the Fever in Indiana game last night, and the amount of 22s that I saw on the way to the arena and inside the Capital One Arena might as well have just been a home game for Caitlin Clark. Not Indiana, Caitlin Clark. The thing is, that didn't surprise me. But what did surprise me was how packed the game was.
As the WNBA season drew to a close, there was no denying that Caitlin Clark had inserted herself into the MVP conversation. Stephen A. Smith, who had been one of Clark's biggest supporters throughout the season, was quick to recognize her as a legitimate candidate for the league's top honor. In his view, Clark's combination of individual brilliance and team leadership made her a clear contender, alongside established stars like A'ja Wilson. Smith, known for his fiery takes and unwavering confidence in his opinions, didn't hesitate to put Clark's name right up there with the league's elite players.
Indiana Fever scored 110. That was a WNBA record. And on top of it all, she dropped 35. Caitlin Clark, and, obviously she lead the league in assists and all this other stuff. She's phenomenal. She just is, okay?
A'ja Wilson, who had been dominant in her own right, was undoubtedly deserving of MVP consideration. Her consistency and ability to take over games had cemented her as one of the WNBA's brightest stars for years. Yet, Smith argued that Clark's impact on the league as a rookie couldn't be overlooked. What Clark was doing on the court wasn't just impressive for a first-year player. It was impressive by any standard. She had brought a level of excitement and energy to the WNBA that few players, rookies, or veterans could match. Her ability to step into the spotlight, take on immense pressure, and deliver on a nightly basis proved that she belonged in the same conversation as seasoned stars like Wilson.
It's noise that I don't really listen to, honestly, because I'm in season. I have other things that we need to worry about than what other people have to say. I have a scout, I have 11 other minds on my team and in my locker room that we got to make sure that we're on the same mindset. So I really can't give you the best answer on that because I really don't pay any attention to it. My goal is just to go out there and be the best that I can be for my teammates, both on and off the court, and we're going to go out there and be us.
While analysts like Molly Karam continued to downplay Caitlin Clark's achievements, the young star's influence was undeniable. She had captured the attention of fans not just in the United States, but around the world. Clark's ability to connect with people through her style of play, her charisma, and her never-say-die attitude had made her a global sensation. Her long-range shooting, court vision, and knack for performing in high-pressure moments had basketball fans buzzing. And her persona, both on and off the court, resonated with a broad audience, from die-hard WNBA followers to casual viewers. Clark wasn't just a star because of her records. She had an intangible quality that few athletes possess. She inspired people. Whether it was young girls aspiring to follow in her footsteps or seasoned basketball lovers marveling at her skill set, Clark had a way of drawing people in. Her humility, paired with her fierce competitiveness, made her easy to root for. It wasn't just her stats that were impressive, though those were certainly historic. It was the way she carried herself, leading her team and becoming a beacon of hope for the Indiana Fever, a franchise that had struggled in previous seasons.
Clark is the first player in WNBA history to lead the league in assists and three-pointers made, and she has now scored the most points by a guard in a single season in WNBA history. As a rookie, also the first person in history to lead the league in assists and being top 10 in points. I don't think y'all understand how difficult that is.
From breaking assist and points records to leading the Indiana Fever with poise, Caitlin Clark had proven that she was more than just a fan favorite. She was a true star, and her influence on the WNBA was impossible to ignore. Despite the reluctance of some analysts to fully acknowledge her achievements, Clark's impact on the league continued to grow. She wasn't just an individual standout. She was helping elevate the visibility of the WNBA itself. Clark brought in new viewers, boosted ticket sales, and made the Fever a team to watch again. Her electrifying performances were sparking conversations, and those conversations were happening far beyond basketball circles. By the end of the season, it was clear that Caitlin Clark wasn't just one of the best rookies in the league. She was one of the best players. Period. Her record-breaking season spoke for itself, as she shattered expectations and raised the bar for what a rookie could accomplish. She had not only earned her place among the WNBA's elite, but she had also cemented herself as one of the league's biggest stars. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos from us are on screen now.